Hello, this is Xbox and this is the bonus footage for the M1216. Just 2 more bonus guides after this, which is good because I need all the hard drive space I can muster for when Ghosts releases. Anyway, I'm answering your questions from the last bonus footage, so let's get on with them. Jimo Carr asks, "Hey Stu, just a question. Have you ever drunk a Portuguese beer?" Well, yes, I've had Sagres before, a couple of varieties of that, and it's alright. Yes, it's not bad. Lorenz2951 asks, "What do you think of the Pokemon series of games? Are you a fan, and what is your favourite generation?" The only Pokemon game I've ever played in any great depth is Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. I haven't really owned any Nintendo handhelds since the original Game Boy, so I haven't really been keeping up with the series. And so I'd hate to be, dubbed a Gen 1er, as I believe the term is, but, well, Generation 1 is my favourite, by virtue of the fact that it's the only one I've played in depth. I probably wouldn't mind playing the newer ones, but I don't really fancy buying a handheld just for the sake of it. I'm not really huge into handheld gaming. Although I do have a Wii U, so if Nintendo ever release a console Pokemon game, which I appreciate is unlikely, I'll be right on that. Icy Jello continues the trend of making me pronounce foreign languages by asking me if I can do Japanese, and the answer is no, I can't. In fact, Joe, I think you've taken it too far. I'm not going to do any more pronunciation comments. You've ruined it for everyone. Moving on, Superman91372 asks, "Your voice seems to be a popular fact of your channel in my eyes. How did you got it?" Well, believe it or not, and this might shock you, I didn't choose this voice, it chose me. This is literally what I sound like when I talk. There's nothing I can do about it. Deep6501 says, "If you had to drink one beer, and only one beer, for the rest of your life, which would it be?" Now, you see, there's a temptation here to specify something really exotic and fancy, but I think if you're limited to one beer, you've got to go something for all seasons, a relatively popular one. And for me, it would probably be Guinness. I do like my stouts, and there are better stouts out there than Guinness. But there's never a bad time to indulge in the creamy black stuff. It's alright by me. The Sam MP111 says, "What did you want to be when you were a child/teen?" Well, I've always been into my video games, so I guess, if you ask me, I probably wouldn't be too averse to working in the video game industry, but when careers advice came around, I guess I never really thought to pursue anything like that because, well, video games aren't a real job. So back when I was younger, I don't know, I had an interest in graphic design, the visual arts, and at one point I wanted to be an architect. But then I realised that there's more to being an architect than just drawing pictures of houses, and so I slowly leaned towards a career in IT. And that led to me being a web developer for about 8 years, and then, well, here we are, back to my original passion of video games. I probably shouldn't have listened to careers advice at all. RHMW4936 Iffy says, "Stu, did you pick up Diablo 3? And if so, what do you think?" I don't have it for the consoles, I bought it for PC on release. And I played it, and I completed it, and it was alright, yeah, it's not bad. I did get a bit bored of it when you kind of realise you're just clicking on stuff to make it die. And you kind of think, there's probably something better I could be doing with my time. Having said that, I wouldn't mind a copy of it for consoles, if only for achievements, but I don't fancy paying full price for it. Bilbo Baggins asks, "Hey Stu, did you ever play a game in the Stalker series?" Yes, I have. I've played Shadow of Chernobyl and Call of Pripyat. I think I've got Clear Sky as well. I don't think I've played much of that, though. I like them, they're good. They're a little bit buggy and they could be expanded in some areas, but they definitely scratch that post-apocalyptic itch that, Fallout satisfies on a similar level. But I think Stalker delivers a bit more on the creepy level, and I don't know, it kind of feels a bit more real, if that makes any sense. Fallout is like a caricature of a post-apocalyptic universe, whereas I feel Stalker's probably a little bit closer to reality. Aside from all the psionic monsters and all that. Statusinator asks, "Dear Stu, Quake or Unreal?" I was always an Unreal Tournament fanboy. I liked Quake, I especially liked the first Quake. But after Quake 1, I wasn't really that interested in the series. But Unreal definitely held my interest. Well, until Unreal Tournament 3 came around, anyway. Mark My Word says, "Now that YouTube allows content creators to view their most active subscribers, will you have any plans for these dedicated few?" I don't have any specific plans, but it could be useful in the future. I've created a circle, well, YouTube automatically created a circle of about 400 to 500 people that it deems are my most active subscribers, or my most likely to engage. I guess this is part of their push towards closer G+ integration with YouTube, which, you know, whatever, fine, I don't care. So, it's quite good in the sense that I can broadcast exclusively to that circle. So if there's something I want to share with those elite few, then I can do it. So it might come in useful. If there's ever something I want to offer to my subscribers, but there's limited capacity, you know, and I don't want to just put it up first come, first served, I can offer it to the most loyal fans first. But if you aren't part of this elite group, then I wouldn't worry too much, because I haven't offered anything like that yet. Spinosaurus Kin says, Stu, please no more GTA content. It's spamming our sub boxes. Oh, come on now. 2 videos. It's a popular game, and it's what I've been playing, you know, and I've always been of the philosophy that the videos on my channel should represent the games that I play. It's one of my unwritten rules. All of the content that goes on my channel must be, you know, must be honest content. I don't want to ever have to force myself to play a game to make a video. So my main channel is always going to reflect the games that I'm playing, and I have been playing GTA 5. I've sunk maybe, what, 40 hours into it or something stupid like that. But yeah, I can appreciate it's the new hottest game. I've seen a lot of people posting Let's Plays and stuff. People are up to like, part 40 of my GTA 5 Let's Play. And I don't want to do Let's Plays because, well, everyone else is doing them. And I want my content to be, you know, I want it to be unique and different at least. Which is part of the reason why I shy away from standard commentaries and Let's Plays and stuff like that. I mean, the other reason is I'm not a huge fan of doing unscripted content, certainly not with live recording. It's principally because I think you do gain spontaneity with live recorded stuff, but I think you lose kind of a certain density of entertainment. Maybe it would just be me, but there'll be, I don't know, I don't like putting out videos where I'm struggling to think of things to say. Like, I don't mind doing these bonus videos because, although they're unscripted, I'm given prompts by you guys in the form of questions, so I've got something to riff off of. But when I'm playing the game, I prefer to focus solely on the game, which is one of the reasons I dislike doing live commentaries. On the other side of the GTA coin, iRock7497 says, Hey Stu, are you going to post GTA 5 online videos when it comes out? It would be great if you did. I might do. I'm certainly going to play GTA 5 online, you know, see what it's like. I don't know whether it'll be persistent, whether I'll play it for weeks or days, or I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably think about doing videos, and if I come up with a good idea, or even just a silly idea, then I might very well go ahead and produce it. Like I mentioned though, I'm currently producing the Drinks Ahoy video, the 15-minute special. And there's quite a bit of work to do for that. There's graphics and there's filming, and the filming, it's kind of tricky. I need a few extra bits and bobs, so I'm waiting on the post to come on Monday. I need some backdrops, you see. That's the trouble with recording real-life footage. Everything's all dusty and dirty and fingerprinty, and it's difficult to be a perfectionist in the real world. Acino Creed says, Stu, what's your favourite candy bar? You know, I've been on kind of a Snickers kick of late. Or as they used to be called in the UK, a marathon. Anyway, they're good. They've got everything you need. You've got the chocolate, you've got the nougat, you've got the caramel, but you've also got peanuts in there as well. So it's not like a Mars bar, which is just a solid lump of sugar. You've got a bit of complex carbohydrate in there, which kind of lessens any sort of sugar rush. Gives you a bit of energy for longer. Anyway, yeah, Snickers. They're good. Chaticalism2112 says, Stu, a word of personal input on what you said about Behind the Lines in the Scorpion bonus video. I think you should make a video that documents the video game incarnations of the AK, or any other prominent gun, but make it so that it's more about how its real-life characteristics have translated into gaming, rather than the obvious, the AK made its first appearance in Counter-Strike, or something like that. Yes, this is the angle I'm thinking of for Behind the Lines 2, or it might not be called Behind the Lines, but it will be a spiritual successor of Behind the Lines, if that makes any sense. I think, yeah, sort of taking the depictions of the AK-47 and relating the qualities of the video game AK-47 to the real-life one, I think there's kind of an angle in there. And if it can maybe blend in some real-world history and kind of illuminate the pedigree of the AK, I think it could work pretty well. But it needs to, I need to think about it. It is a bold undertaking. AstroDude80 says, Hey Stu, any chance you'll revisit Time to Kill? Short answer is, no current plans. I think Time to Kill, it was good, but it was maybe a little bit technical for a broader audience. Maybe I could rekindle the format if there's a really popular video game, and I can see an angle for deep exposition of the game's mechanics, then, you know, maybe it might resurface. But I think TTK probably had a bit too niche appeal. It worked as a pretty good surrogate for weapon guides, but I don't know how much traction it would have for enduring popularity. Anyway, I'm always happy to hear your input on my video content, but that's not to say I've got any shortage of ideas myself. I've got a big old whiteboard full of ideas that I could produce, although admittedly some of them are quite bad. I actually have a system. I write down ideas as they come to me, and when I produce a video, I scrub it off the board, and I also scrub another idea alongside it. Like, you know, one that I know won't work, or it's just a bad idea, it won't translate well to a video. One of the ideas I'm most excited about, I call it the Vice series, or the Sin series. I really want to do like, it will be similar to the Akimbo Origins video. Although I might not present it as a chronological representation, I might take it as a kind of a topical cross-section. But the Vice concept has potential for maybe like 6, 8 episodes, each focusing on a different seedy angle of video games. So I'll look at drugs in video games, alcohol, violence, gore, prostitution, nudity, sex, that sort of thing. These are all they're kind of sensitive subjects. But a look at the depictions of these subjects over the course of video gaming history could be quite interesting. I think the first one I'm going to produce is going to be gore. So I'm going to take a look at all of the goriest games in video game history. And I'll probably go to town on the graphics work. I'll be, you know, blood splatters and all sorts of things. I think it'll be quite good fun. Anyway, that's it for footage. So thank you very much for watching. And until next time, farewell.